We'll discuss next three selected questions from my next practice test. So once again, these are questions that look closely to what we have in the actual exam. I cannot come up with a brain dump to show you the exact questions, but once again, they are very close to those from the exam, and this is what we're allowed to do by Snowflake. Yeah, we can come up with similar questions. So let's start with this one. Question one. A table with billions of events and unique timestamps is used for periodic reports by the event type. How would you cluster this table to improve the performance? Okay, you can stop the video here, try it, come back later. I'll go ahead with the answer. In this case, we have D. And let's see why. What are the keywords here in our text? So definitely billions of events, and you may need clustering for this to improve performance. When you see cluster, okay, you have to know about the clustering keys in Snowflake. The other kind of information is a kind of columns you have in your query. You have event types and you have unique timestamps. Now, it is very important to understand something. Always use clustering keys based on your access pattern, based on your type of query. So, in this case, how do we query this one? It's periodical and by event type. So we never query, let's say, our table to get more than one event type at a time. So definitely we should start by the event type. Okay. So automatically you have B and C excluded because you need to select first the event type. But let's have a look at A, event type alone, or in the case of D, we should add something else after the event type. Why should we add the day of the timestamp? Why not the timestamp alone? Well, that's a problem. If you have unique values, clustering something by those unique values will not help you enough. But in this case, because they say we need periodic reports, definitely finding a certain granularity here, and this is by the day of the timestamp, will help definitely to improve the performance. So once again, this is a proper clustering. Yeah, you'll have to choose clustering keys by event type first, and then try to cluster by the day of the timestamp. You use a formula here. Question two: what are techniques used to query hierarchical data in Snowflake? Select two. Well, I discussed about this again and again in almost all my Udemy courses about Snowflake, so you can stop the video here, think about. In the meantime, I will go ahead with the answer. Recursive views and connect by. Let's see why. Take by exclusion. Connect with, we don't have such a clause. Yeah, we don't have such a query, such a technique. It's called connect by, and then you have a start with. And this kind of query comes from Oracle. Actually, long ago, Oracle implemented this one. So Snowflake, yes, implemented also the connect by query. Now, we have a recursive view, and at the bottom, you have a common table expression, a CTE, with union select. Well, if you had a look at the hierarchical queries, you've seen that actually we have recursive CTEs. And they follow these patterns with a union select. You have a select for the top row, and then follow by a union and select for the children of the top row. But once again, in this choice here, the word recursive is missing. So if you build a CTE with just a union select like the one that I described, it's not enough. This will not be a recursive CTE. But this is why in Snowflake we have also you can encapsulate such a CTE with union select into a recursive view. And you don't need to add a recursive keyword before the CTE. You add it before the view name. You can simply say create recursive view and the view name. So have a look at this. Have a look later on at the link that I will leave in our practice test and understand all these details. Question 3. Which of the following create privileges are required for a Kafka connector role? Select 3. Okay, it's clear now that you'll have to learn in detail about the Kafka connector. And look, you have not just the Kafka connector, you have the Spark connector as well. So these are two important connectors for Snowflake for near real-time streaming, and they create different objects there by default. And your role should be able to access or just to create these kind of objects. Have a look at this. In the meantime, I will go ahead with the answer. Okay, we have create grant create table, create stage, and create pipe. Create view and create schema are excluded. Once again, you'll have to look at the documentation because we don't need to necessarily to create views. So that's not a necessary role. For the schema is already there created and with the database. So the specific role will not need to create schema. But within this specific schema, you just need usage privileges, for the schema and for the database, which is a parent of the schema. But within the schema, the first time at least, you need to create tables, you need to create stages, you need to create pipes. So that's why you need these three create privileges there. And once again, you need to know about Kafka connector, and you see here you have to learn about this grant privilege to role specific SQL statement. Okay, guys, this is it for me. Try to take right now the next practice test and let me know how it went.